And away we go. We're off and running. We are streaming. And you are going to learn English today. I'm just going to make sure everything is working the way it's supposed to, and we will get the lesson started. So, hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. Let me check a couple extra things along the way. Looks like, oh, Mode's here as well. So good. All the right lights are on so we can start this English lesson. Well, hello and welcome to this English lesson where I'm going to teach you how to describe new things. Now, this isn't because I just bought a lot of new things. I haven't actually bought anything new, but I was thinking of buying a battery pack to help us when the power goes out. And so as I was thinking of buying something new, I was realizing there were a lot of words I could teach you about buying new things or things that are like new. You know, they're used, but they're in such good shape, they seem like they're new. So once again, welcome to this English lesson about describing new things. I think you will enjoy it. Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for watching the very formal intro. If you're wondering why I do that, it's because I repackaged the lesson and I like to have a nice recorded intro for that. But if you're watching this at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's live. You are like, I'm right here. I'm a person in my living room. You can see it right behind me, doing a live stream. So welcome, and it's good to see you. Good to see John Wedge, Sibelk, Mode Eggs, Aerosmith 77, Freddie Wolf, Nuri Kad, Alex Makret, Mode again, Jihan, Kania, let me scroll up, Key Park. I think I'm saying names twice. Miller, Hite. There was someone else I wanted to say hi to. Justina, Wanda is here as well. Some familiar faces and probably some new people as well. Good to see all of you. I hope you enjoy this lesson. Let me have a sip of water here. There we go. If you're watching this again at 8:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, it is live and we will get started in just a moment. I just have to check one thing. Yep, that's all good. Mode says Bob is looking healthy again. So I've been going for a walk every morning. And honestly, it's a little bit hard. But I've been getting some sunshine. I've been eating healthier again as my diet gets back to normal. So yes, thank you, Mode, for noticing that. I have a little bit more color in my face, hopefully, as well. Ario is here. Good to see you, Ario. Signagdo is here. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. There we go. That is the time right now. Anyways, John Wedge, hello as well. Let me get the lesson started before I end up talking too long. Here we go. New. Something that was made or created not long ago. So I know this is the easy word in the lesson. When you buy something that's new, you buy it online or in a store, and it's something that was made somewhere and no one else has ever owned it before. So they made it in the factory. They made this MacBook Pro in the factory, and then it went straight from the factory maybe to a warehouse, and then from the warehouse to the store, and then you went to the store and bought it, or you ordered it online and they sent it to you, and it is new. It is something that was made or created not long ago, and again, no one else has owned it before you. Brand new. This is just a funny way of saying something is new. I don't know why we say this. It's for emphasis. Brand new is something completely new and never used before. So it means the same as new. I think this was invented by salespeople who are selling things. They want to be able to emphasize that it's new. So they say it's brand new. It's a brand new car, a brand new computer. We also use this to distinguish. If someone says, "Oh, I see you bought a new car," I could respond and say, "Yeah, it's brand new," meaning that I'm the first person to ever own it. So it's for emphasis, brand new, something completely new and never used before. Like new. So when something is like new, it's something that looks or works almost as if it is new. So you do need to realize that if something is like new, someone else has already used it. So this Galaxy Watch is like new. You can see right in the Facebook Marketplace ad like new Samsung Galaxy Watch. So it's something that looks or works almost as if it is new. If I bought this watch, I would expect that there are no scratches on it. I would expect that it comes in the original box. I would expect that it looks shiny and perfect. So like new, something that looks or works almost as if it is new, but it is in fact used. The latest, the most recent or newest version of something. So here we have the latest phone from Google. I believe this is the Pixel 10. And this is the most recent or newest version of their phone. I think the iPhone 17 is the latest version of the iPhone. This is the latest version of Google's smartphone, which is called a Pixel. You can see it's a little bit pricey there. Canadian dollars, is it $1,099? So anyways, this is the latest phone. If you were to buy a Tesla, maybe you're going to buy the latest Tesla, the latest model. But yes, latest, the most recent or newest version of something. By the way, I have my Pixel phone here. This is a Pixel 9, so it's not the latest anymore. It's the one just before the latest one. Up to date, having the most recent features. When you buy something that's new, especially technology, you want to buy something that's up to date. You can buy an older phone. You can go and buy a phone that's 5 years old, and you could probably still use it, but it won't be up to date. It won't have all of the most recent features. If you go back far enough and you buy a really old phone, it might not work on the current cellular network in your city. It might not take very good pictures because it doesn't have an up-to-date camera. So when something is up to date, it has the most recent features. This phone also is up to date because the software is up to date. So kind of two slightly different things. Modern, using recent styles and design. This is what I would consider a very modern new house. This is the style of house that I'm starting to see being built in Canada. So it's modern and it's using recent styles and design. You'll notice that it has some wood on the outside and the roof is flat and there are lots of windows. This is very modern. So this is a new modern house using recent styles and design. I would love to own a house like that. That would be very, very nice. Fresh, recently made or created, not old. Probably the most common way we use this is when we're talking about paint. When a room needs a little bit of flair, when a room is starting to look kind of old and dated, sometimes it needs a fresh coat of paint. That's probably where we use that word the most, a fresh coat of paint. We also use it to talk about like fruit and vegetables that are, ready to eat. They're fresh, but when you're talking about things, you could say, oh, it's a fresh coat of paint. Or I need to have a fresh new look to that room. So fresh, recently made or created, not old. Recent, something that was made not long ago. So this is, I think, the most recent Tesla, the Model Y. I think it's a more affordable Tesla. But this is the most recent version. So when you talk about something that is recent, it's something that was made not long ago. So you could say to someone, oh, you're buying a laptop. Are you going to buy the recent MacBook Neo? And they could say, oh yeah, that's the most recent MacBook right now, isn't it? So recent, something that was made not long ago. Current, belonging to the present time. So I know I am using a lot of pictures of technology, but that is just kind of how it goes. Like most of the things that are up to date, like new, the latest thing, modern and recent, are usually related to technology. So this is a lesson about new things, and I'm definitely talking a lot about technology. So current, belonging to the present time. This is the current iPhone. If you want to buy an iPhone, the iPhone 17, to my knowledge, is the current model. It is the current iPhone that you can buy right now if you go to a store. So current, belonging to the present time. Hey, let's look at some questions. I forgot to kind of explain how this works at the beginning. If you have a question, there's a link. It's pinned in the chat and it's in the description. Please use that to ask a question, and then I will put it here. We'll pause every once in a while during the lesson and I will answer some questions. Let me just check one thing and then we will do just that. Okay. Oh, that's kind of, oh yeah, there we are. Okay. Where am I? Let me get a question on the screen. Oh, there are a lot of questions. From Takagero. Hello, dear Teacher Bob. What do you think about driverless trucks? Have you seen one yet? So they are definitely some high tech, and it's kind of the latest thing in trucking. I'm trying to use some of my words here. And they're pretty recent. I have not seen one yet because they are so recent. But yes, there are self-driving trucks. They drive by themselves, driverless trucks if you want. What do I think? I have friends who are truck drivers, and I'm a little bit worried they will lose their jobs. And they really like driving trucks. So I hope there's still room in the world for truck drivers as we start to have more and more autonomous vehicles. From Judith. Hi, Bob. What is your opinion about entwining old and new things, ideas? Thanks. So we have a saying in English, what's old is new again. And it reminds me of vinyl records. So that's something from the 70s and early 80s until we got compact discs. These big vinyl records you would put on a record player, and they are now an old thing, but it's kind of new again. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of like a mixing or an entwining of the old and the new. So I think it's pretty cool. From Fortnite Lover, do you play any Battle Royale games? I do not. No, I am not into that. Sorry, I'm laughing at the next question. This one is, yeah, I'll put this on the screen. Please just answer. So dumbass is a very informal, insulting way of referring to someone who makes a mistake or isn't very smart in a situation. You might call them a dumbass. It's not a word you should use regularly. It does have a little bit of humor to it as well as being very insulting, but that is the meaning of that word. And then again, love you, Bob, sir. Have you ever been outside Canada? Yes, I have been to the United States and I have been to South Africa. So those are the two places I have been. Judith. Hi, Bob. Do you keep the boxes of a new item you bought? Do you use it as storing boxes or shelves? Thanks. Because I buy a lot of technology, I usually keep the boxes. I don't have any right here. I usually keep the boxes for a while because if the item breaks, I want to be able to send it back or return it to the store. If you buy something online and it stops working the next day, you send it back. If you buy something in a store and it stops working, you take it back. So yes, I do tend to keep boxes for far too long after I buy them. Alessandro says, hi, everyone. How's it going? I hope everything is all right. It is. Oh, Hafiez is here. Hey, I collect vinyls. Very cool. Wanda says to John Wedge, I drank my coffee earlier. Very good. Amadullah says, hello, lovely teacher. How can I get fluent in English? Work at it. Yes. And then Hite says, the word I was just talking about is rude. It is very rude, but it is something you will hear in informal English. From, where am I clicking here? From Jane. Good morning, Bob. I've been missing your monthly live Q&A streams. I apologize for not doing one in April. There will be one on the first Saturday of May. So, and it might be outside, even if the weather is nice. Let's see. I'm going to skip the next one because it's a little borderline. From Unabi. Hi, Mr. Bob. The band from Quebec, Angine de Poitrine, became viral all over the internet. Are they already popular in Canada or is it completely new musical phenomenon? So on topic, completely new, very recent. If you said it's a never before heard of band, I would say I agree because I have never heard of them and I will now Google them after this live stream. So I can't answer the question because I am not aware. Unabi in the chat says, even some warranty rules require a box of the product. Yeah, sometimes it's like you have to return it in the box. It's kind of mean if you are really quick at recycling. I don't know, same. So are there any herbal hair dyes available in Canada? Are they safe and effective for the scalp? Thank you in advance for your answer. As you can see, I have a lovely shade of gray coming in, and I am not planning to dye my hair. So I do not know very much about hair dye. It has been suggested that I should dye my hair, but honestly, in my mid-50s, if this is the color my hair is, I'm just going to leave it. I'm quite comfortable with that. Hasham, hi Bob, sir. What's the most recent tech product you have bought? So I haven't bought it yet, but I plan to buy a small power bank to run the internet equipment in my barn so that if there is power problems, the internet keeps working. So I think it's a Blue Eddy. I think that's the name brand. So I haven't bought it yet, but when I do get it, I will hook that up. Hafia says, dye your hair. I think you need to ask Jen's permission, Bob. Yes, probably. Jen likes natural, so I'm going to leave it there. Whoa, a lot of questions off topic. I think I'm going to ask mine in the members only chat. There you go. Yes, a little bit of off topic. Some kind of related though. From Judith, hi Bob. If you say current, you can think of new things, but it can be used for electricity. What do you do to differentiate them? Thank you. So if I say that light must use a lot of current, then you know I'm talking about electricity because of the context and the structure of the sentence. If I say that is a current light, it means it's a recent or newer version of the light. So it really just comes down to understanding the full context of the sentence. Miller Winters says, dear teacher, could you please make a video about music teaching? I'd love to learn more. I can't. I don't know very much about music. I have a lot of knowledge in certain areas and almost no knowledge in other areas. I can sort of play the piano. Like I can play one song. I had piano lessons when I was a child for 6 months. I can't sing and I don't play any musical instrument. So I cannot make a lesson because I am not an expert. I am going to start skipping unrelated questions. So some of them. Hasham, which processor do you have in your PC? So I don't have the most recent processor. I have a Core i7 and it's not state of the art. It's not cutting edge. Both of my computers are about 6 or 7 years old. I need to buy something new that has the latest. I'm trying to use as many words as I can. Something that has the latest processor, especially because I edit in 4K, and that is you need a good computer for that. So I need something modern. I need the latest computer. I need something up to date. I need something current. And I'll probably purchase something this summer. Great question. That allowed me to use the topic. Again, please keep questions on topic. I will answer a few because I think time is okay. Hi, Bob. Do you have any tips to speak smoothly in daily life as a non-native speaker? Practice your speaking as much as you can. That is like the more you shoot a basketball at a net, the better you get at it. The more you practice your speaking, the better you'll get at it. From Kuso, good morning, Teacher Bob. No questions for now. I just want to say I really love the style of that food court video. Thanks. You are welcome. That was a fun video to make. Let me see if I can remember the code to put it in the chat. I'm glad you mentioned it. Funny story about the food court video. If you watch closely, you'll notice I'm at 2 different food courts. I actually got kicked out of the first food court. They were very nice, but I started making the video at a mall in Burlington, Ontario. And then after I shot the first few segments, a security guard came up and said, "You can't videotape here." And I did not push it. Like, I didn't say, you are in Canada, you are allowed to film in public places. But the security guard said they've had problems with young people making prank videos at the mall. So the mall has now banned videotaping. So I was asked to leave and I said, no problem. I asked if I could keep the footage that I had already shot. They said, sure. And then I just went to a different mall and finished the video. So if you watch the food court video from this past week, the link's in the chat, you'll see, if you watch closely, that it's actually two different food courts. Maybe some of you already noticed that. Okay. All right. Okay. This is new for Canada. Are you ready to host FIFA World Cup? So this is something new. I don't think we have ever hosted it before. So I hope we are ready. Hafia says, Bob got kicked out by a mall cop. Kevin James by two mall cops, actually. I must have looked I'm fairly assertive when I have conversations. I think because I'm a teacher, I'm usually, when he said you can't videotape here, I said it's actually legal to videotape in public in Canada. Like, I didn't want to argue, but I stood my ground. And then he called over his supervisor. And then I had a very nice, pleasant conversation with the two of them. I did not record it because I think that would have been rude, but they asked me to leave and I said no problem. Mode says, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. I love that video. I thought it was too soon for Bob to make yet another tricky video in public. I hope it does as well as the airport one. I hope it does too. And then I have a few more in public videos, but not at a mall. There are public places where I won't have that problem. So Audie's here. Good to see you, Audie. Long time no see. Good evening, teacher. It's a long time no see. You hope you and your family are doing great. We are doing very well. And hi to know that as well. I should get back to the lesson, shouldn't I? Yes. Okay. If you have a question in the chat, let me do this one and then we'll go to the next. Mode in mint condition. Hi, Mr. Bob. I've been browsing some electronics online, and for some of the items, they say unknown binding. What does that mean? Thanks for taking it easy on yourself. I don't know, but my guess would be more and more electronic items are bound to an email or an account online of some kind. I had a camera, and that camera was bound to my email address. And when I sold it used, I had to reset it to factory defaults, and I had to unbind it from my email address so the person buying it could use it. So that's my guess is if it says unknown binding, I'd be worried that it's bound to something, like connected to someone's account. Okay, let me have a sip of water and get moving on the lesson. Let's see here. Hafia says, I'd cower in fear. I don't do well with confrontations, let alone by a cop. Well, it was a security guard, so it's not quite a cop. But yes, hi, know that. Good to see you as well. I know that we're here to hear the story of me getting kicked out of the mall. Maybe you were. Here we go. Cutting edge, very modern and using the newest ideas or technology. When I bought this computer, it was cutting edge. It's not anymore. When I bought the camera that I'm using, which is a Canon R6, it was cutting edge, but I think there's a Canon R6 Mark II now, so it's no longer cutting edge. Cutting edge is always the latest. My phone is a Pixel 9, so it's not cutting edge anymore because the Pixel 10 is out. So cutting edge, very modern, and using the newest ideas or technology. By the way, this guy has a gimbal. It's probably very cutting edge. Keeps his camera stable while he's making a video. State of the art, using the most advanced and modern technology available. You might be wondering what's the difference between cutting edge and state of the art. They are pretty much the same. If you buy a Tesla, it has state-of-the-art self-driving, using the most advanced and modern technology available. My friend has a Tesla, and it has full self-driving, but you do have to supervise it. It's not legal yet in Canada to have cars drive themselves, at least for personal use. So you do have to be in the driver's seat watching, but it is state-of-the-art. He can push a button and it uses the most advanced and modern technology available to drive him somewhere else. High tech, using advanced technology, especially electronics or computers. So this word is definitely used when talking about electronics. You could say that school is very high tech. They have a lot of computers. Or that video studio is very high tech. They have all of the latest cameras and up-to-date equipment. So when you use the word high tech, you're not talking about a cup. You're not talking about, you could be talking about a car. Some cars are very high tech. They have very cool screens on the inside. But high tech, using advanced technology, especially electronics or computers. Improved, made better than before. So some new things are simply a newer version of something else. So I would say when I bought my most recent car, it has heated seats. They've definitely improved a lot of things on cars since the last time. I bought a used car last year. It's 10 years old, but they've definitely improved a lot. It has a backup camera, heated seats, and the hatch is powered. So you can click a button and it opens. So it's improved. They've definitely improved a lot of things on modern cars. New and improved is sometimes used to help convince you that something is way better than the version before. So recently changed to be better than before. This phrase is often used in advertising. This is for something called mac and cheese. It's basically noodles with some fake cheese sauce, but it's new and improved and you can't even tell. So again, when something's improved, it's just better than the version before. When you say something is new and improved, it's kind of like you're emphasizing like it's brand new and it's way better than the version that we used to sell. Updated, changed to include the most recent information or features. So this picture has two different Ford Escape vehicles. The one on the far side is the 2009 version, but the one closest to me is the updated version. This is the 2020 version. You see, it actually changed from a truck to more of a hatchback. That's how they decided to update that vehicle. So they changed it to include the most recent information or features. They also changed the style, how it looked, how it drove, what engine it had. It's definitely an updated version of the one before. So when something is updated, it's changed to include the most recent information or features. I like the one closest to me better. It's newer than my Ford Escape, but it's still a pretty nice looking vehicle. Upgraded, improved by adding better parts or features. So if I had a computer that I built myself and it was too slow to play a game, I could buy parts and I could upgrade it. And then if a friend asked me, is your computer fast enough to play the game now? I could say, oh yeah, it's upgraded. I put in a new video card and some more RAM. I upgraded it. It is upgraded. So a couple different ways to use that word. You can talk about new things too, like, oh, I bought an upgraded washing machine. I bought an upgraded dishwasher. It's better than the version before. Improved by adding better parts or features. This is what I look like when I work on computers. I always have my reading glasses on and I'm like, here, let's get this. This isn't me. I wish I had, that's very nice hair, but anyways, that's what I look like. I always need my reading glasses so I can see when I'm working on something. First of its kind, the first of something that has never existed before. So there used to not be any drones. There was a time in my life where no one had a drone. And then my friend's dad bought a drone. He bought one of the first of its kind. So I think this is a DJI Phantom. I'm not sure, but it was the first of its kind. I had never seen one before, and it was so cool. And this is a number of years ago. But when he said, oh, my dad bought a drone, I was like, oh, that's the first of its kind. The first drone that average citizens, average people could buy and use. The first of its kind. Newly released, made available to the public for the first time recently. So this is often used in advertising as well. If you read below, it says As of April 2026, the newly released Samsung tablet lineup is headlined by the premium Galaxy Tab S11 series. So in the actual writing in the ad, they are using the phrase newly released, made available to the public for the first time recently. I don't have a tablet, but if I was to buy one, this newly released Samsung looks pretty impressive. Is that an 11-inch screen? That's quite big, isn't it? Okay, maybe I don't want a tablet. I'll just use my phone. I think that'll work fine. Recently launched, introduced to the public not long ago. So again, I found a little bit of information on the internet where the phrase is used. Samsung just launched a new micro RGB TV. So I know it doesn't say recently launched, but you can see the word launched. Samsung just recently launched a new micro RGB TV. Just when you buy a TV that you think is state of the art or up to date or high tech or cutting edge, they usually come out with a new model, and then your other one isn't anymore. Isn't up to date anymore. Anyways, recently launched, introduced to the public not long ago. Hey, we're going to do members only chat. If you are not a member, stick around because we will finish off the lesson in just a bit. Let me find the settings here to turn on members only chat. And if you are a member, you can ask questions now directly in the chat, and I will be happy to answer them. If some of you who are not members are wondering, why would you become a member? Well, you get things. You get a lesson plan on Monday where you can read and learn things and get ideas for how to practice your English. You get an extra video on Wednesdays called Wednesdays with Bob. You get your name in green. You get a crown during live lessons, and you get to participate in members only chat, where mostly members tell me to take a sip of water and then ask really, really good questions. I'll get ahead of you by having a sip of water right now. Okay. Let's see here. We got like back-to-back questions. This is kind of fun, actually. This makes me laugh. Okay, so on the screen, we have a question from Know That. And in the chat, we have a question from Know That. I'll do the chat first, or wherever that is. Know That says, hey, Bob, what are you up to today or this weekend? Are you going to go out and about or just enjoying a low-key weekend? Two things that I need to do. Well, I need to go to work, but two things. Number one, I'm waiting for a Blue Eddy power bank that I'm going to install in my barn so that my internet works if the power fluctuates. So that's number one. Number two, Jen and I have to get all of our paperwork together to drop off our taxes at the accountant. So kind of a boring weekend, but I think it will be productive as well. And then let's look at this question from Know That. Hello, Bob. If you could pick one, which cutting edge technology would you like to call your own? Thanks a lot, Bob. You're one of a kind. If I was to have invented something, I would love to be the person who invented the internet. That would have been cool. But if you mean to call my own, like what would I like to own? I would really like to have an electric vehicle someday. I don't think we could have an electric vehicle as our main vehicle, but as a vehicle to drive to work. Now that gas almost hit $2 a liter in Canada, I more and more am thinking about, should I install solar panels and get an electric vehicle? So that's where I'm at. Okay, back to the chat. Know That's talking to Ralph. Freddie says, it's great that the security guard thought that Bob was a young guy in the mall. Tu peux être fier de sembler, plutôt être encore tellement jeune. Yeah, I assured them I wasn't making prank video. But they had a problem with young people filming other young people, throwing water on people from above. Like you've seen prank videos that some kids these days do at the mall. So they were having some trouble with that. John Wedge says, members only mode, dad joke again. Thumbs up. That's usually what John says at this time. Mode says, all right, follow-up question. So there's a chance that the item with unknown binding might be used or not brand new. You'd have to ask, like, okay, there is another possibility here is when you buy a phone in Canada, it used to be either locked to the cell phone company or unlocked. So it could be unlocked and then you can use it on it. I don't want to give you too much advice. You're going to have to ask more questions of the seller. I'm curious now though. No, that says a personal question, Bob, just so I can keep up with how you are doing health-wise. How have you been in the meantime? Thanks in advance. I would say on a scale of feeling halfway better to all the way better, that's from 50% to 100% is 50 days. And I think I'm on like day 80 something. Like I don't feel, I'm tired a little bit, but I feel more energetic every day. You can probably tell even in this live stream that I'm more energetic. Wanda says, hi, Teacher Bob. When is it possible to use the word revolutionary? Can be the same as first of its kind. Thanks a lot. I should have included that word. Drones, when they came out, were revolutionary. The first mobile phones or smartphones were revolutionary. They changed how we used that technology. Hafiez says, wait, Sorry, I scrolled too much. Yeah, those crazy prank videos trying to garner reactions from poor innocent victims. Yeah. Like, I've seen some of them. I understand why they're entertaining, but I wouldn't want someone to do something to me in public and videotape it and then put it on the internet. No, that says, I know it's been a few days already, but how was your Easter? It was very nice. Did you get anything nice? As always, only if you don't mind sharing. Chocolate. We got a lot of chocolate, but no other gifts. But it was a 4-day weekend for me, which was very, very nice. Afia is talking about to garner in the previous, yes. And Key Park. Hi, Bob. What kind of things do you like to get the recent or newest version? Definitely. Yeah, with technology, I don't always buy the most recent phone. I usually buy the cheaper version of the version before. Does that make sense? So I don't know. When I buy a computer, I usually buy a pretty good computer though, because obviously it has to last 6 or 7 years. Freddie, I know a lot of people give names or nicknames to their car, like Christine in the movie. Do you do that as well? Or do you call them just the blue or red one? Yeah, we use the colors. Like I'll take the blue van, you take the red van. Mode says, I swear I'm not looking for a burner phone to use in some kind of sketchy deal. Yeah. Well, you could, but I don't recommend it. Mode says, although Brett would think otherwise, probably. John Wedge, hey Bob, can I use top notch to refer to something new too? Top notch could be something new, but it could also be something used. It's simply something that works really, really well. Like I bought a used car and it's just a top notch car. Like a used Toyota could still be top notch. It just means a very good quality. Let's see here. Hafiz, I'm just realizing Blue Eddy and Blue Yeti are two different things, LOL. Yeah, and I think when I said Blue Eddy, it might have come out as Blue Yeti. But yes, a Blue Eddy, a small Elite 10 power pack, I think it was a couple $100. Anyways. No, that says, I recently came across the expression time and again, Bob. Could you give some examples of how it's commonly used? A heartfelt thank you. So time and again, when I do a live stream about a certain topic, people will ask questions that are off topic in the forum. So it really just refers to something that's happening over and over again. Let's see here. Or Bob promises to do a Saturday lesson outside, but time and again, it just ends up being inside. So meaning of time and again, on very many occasions or repeatedly. So there you go. Okay, where's my cue here? Know that Freddie Wolf, Celine Dion is going to make her comeback in Paris next fall. I think you're aware about that. Would you buy some tickets and come over to France? Possibly. It's not the first thing on my list to spend money on right now. I recommend the book too. I can't. That's a scary book. Bode says, my question off topic as promised. I guess it's now on topic since you mentioned chocolate, eh? Could you please pronounce toffee and taffy? So toffee and taffy, both sweet things to eat. Okay, let me scroll back to make sure I got all of the members. Only questions in chat. I think I did. Can you just tell me if I missed yours. That's a nice way of doing it too. And I'm going to turn off, I'm going to turn on, sorry, I lost my train. I got to turn off members only chat, and then we are going to finish off this lesson in just a moment. I think I got all of them. If not, tell me in the next minute while I have a sip of water. And I'll answer one question from the form maybe as well. Let's see here. From Alex, hello, teacher Bob. I have no questions, but in a topic of the lesson yesterday, I noticed an oak with new leaves, and it looked like a new whole tree. You would flip it. You would say a whole new tree. I don't know why the order sometimes is confusing, but you would say it was a whole new tree. When you say a new whole tree, yeah, languages are weird, right? It just, you need to flip it. In the chat, No, that says, got the picture, Bob. Thanks for your explanation. And please excuse all the questions, but I somehow felt like I had some catching up to do. No problem. I have been less than available to answer questions lately. Where are we at? We should do one more question and then finish the lesson. Let's do that. Another question about how to improve speaking skills. Do a lot of speaking. That's the big one. Oh, this is a good one from Know That. Just a quick fun question, maybe a bit off topic. How many robot lawnmowers do you think it would take to maintain all the lawn on your property? Thank you, Bob. So probably 7 or 8, but I don't know if they are strong enough to do a lawn like ours. We like to let our lawn grow fairly long because it's better for the grass. It stays healthier. So I don't know. It would be a lot. And a lot. I would love to buy one though, to experiment with. That would be a cool thing to try out. Great question. Okay, let's finish the lesson. Never been used, not used at any time before. So this washing machine is on sale on Facebook Marketplace, brand new, never used. So I know it doesn't have the word been in it, never been used. You can just say never used as well. But this is a common way to sell something that you bought and decided you didn't want it, and you're now selling it. So technically it's used, like it's secondhand, it's used, it's not brand new, but you never actually used it. So you can say never been used. You could actually in English say, I have a used washing machine, but it's never been used. I know that sounds kind of funny. You're basically saying it's not brand new. I bought it. It sat in my garage for a year. It's never been used. You can buy it for $500 today. Cash. Come and get it. Unused, not used or touched before. So as I was doing my research, I found this ad for an air fryer, unused air fryer. And then it said $40. And then I thought, I don't have an air fryer. Is $40 a good price? I'm not planning to buy it, but an unused air fryer for $40, I should do some research because maybe that's a good deal. I also wonder though, is the person telling the truth? Is it actually unused? The picture isn't zoomed in far enough for me to see, but unused, not used or touched before. In perfect condition, used but in excellent shape with no damage or problems. This is a ThinkPad X1 Carbon Gen 8 in perfect condition. You can see the text reflects the phrase that I'm teaching. This laptop is only $350. I probably wouldn't buy this one though, because I like to buy my laptops new, but this one's in perfect condition. It's used, but in excellent shape with no damage or problems. In the original packaging, still inside the box or package it came in. I'm not sure if you know what Ugg boots are. Those are Ugg boots. They are brand new in original packaging, woman size 8. It should actually say women's size 8, by the way. But when you say something's in the original packaging or in original packaging, it lets the person know that they are most likely new. They're just unused or never been used, to use the other phrases. So in the original packaging, still inside the box or package it came in. Just out. recently made available or released. This is the MacBook Neo. It's just out. It just came out, like, I think a month ago. I think you couldn't buy one until the middle of March or the beginning of March. So it's just out. This is a cheaper MacBook product. I think in Canada, they're only $600 or $700. And it will, I think, become very popular with university students, but it's just out. It wasn't available until just a few weeks ago. So just out, recently made available or released. Redesigned, changed in appearance or structure to improve it. If I make this bigger, will the words go off the screen? Yeah, but not too bad. Key 2026 model year redesigned cars include the heavily updated tech-focused Toyota 4Runner. I think that's the Toyota 4Runner. They made it look pretty tough, I think. Tough, like it looks like a real truck now. It's redesigned, changed in appearance or structure to improve it. That's a nice vehicle, but I'm not looking to buy big vehicles. I think the future would be one van so we can bring flowers to market and small car. That's what we'll probably drive for a while. But if you want something that's redesigned, that looks pretty nice. Just arrived, recently available to purchase. So when you go to a store, in this clothing store, this rack of clothing here just arrived. So it probably wasn't there last week. It's brand new. It's probably like the new fall lineup or something, but it's just arrived. It's recently available to purchase. So I like the rack that says discount. I don't always like the rack that says just arrived. I like the rack that says on sale, 50% off, all sales final, but just arrived, recently available to purchase. Hey, that's the end of the formal part of the lesson. Let's get back to the questions. I have a few to answer. From Hasham, have you seen the new Samsung Galaxy Z? In Canada, we say Z, trifold. I have not. Folding phones scare me, but someday I would like one. But I'm still worried. I don't know, like it folds. Won't it break eventually? Stressful. Anyways, I have not seen it. Probably very, very cool. From Unabi, have you noticed that most of the tech giants make their products prone to planned obsolescence intentionally, especially phones, computers, etc.? Thanks, Mr. Bob. So planned obsolescence means that it will become obsolete faster or at a certain time, or it will become not very usable. Most phones, I wouldn't call it necessarily planned obsolescence because we always want them to do more and more. But there was a time where you just knew a phone was only good for 3 years and then you would need a new one. So, but yes, some companies do that. They plan to make something so it doesn't last long. Nina, could you help me with the pronunciation so I can hear the difference between can and can't? I have trouble distinguishing them when native speakers talk. I'm grateful. They will sound very similar. You need to really understand the sentence and body language of the speaker. If I say, oh, I can pick you up today, or if I say, oh, I can't pick you up today, there's most likely visual cues that will help you with that. Here's a question back on topic. Curiosity. How do you feel when you're newly married versus now? Different, but the same. That's how I would say. Like, obviously, when you're newly married, you're young and it's a very fun time and you don't have kids and you can travel and do all of those kinds of cool things. But when you're married, there's a lot of other very rewarding aspects to it. From Betty, if the mirror in your home is no longer squeaky clean and no matter how you wipe it, it stays dirty, do you usually go for a new one? Yeah, I would get a brand new mirror. I would just say it's time to get something that's brand new or like new. Like I would definitely replace it if you can't get it clean. Mode says, you've been referring to SUVs as trucks throughout the lesson. Is that common to do in North American English? In my part of Canada, yes. Quite often, if people have an SUV, they might call it an SUV or they might call it a truck. When they call it a truck, sometimes people with real trucks will laugh at them and say that's not a real truck, but it is common to call it a truck. Let me see here. Going back in the chat, Hafia says $5.99 with student discount. It's $4.99. Pretty cool. Ralph, are mint, or it should be pristine condition, Ralph. I think that's the word you're looking for. And those are also used. Yes, mint condition or pristine condition both mean in very, like, excellent condition. Mode says, I guess the clearance rack is everyone's favorite. Yes, definitely. Unibi said, I meant exactly that. Thanks, Mr. Bob. Good. I got it right. Freddie, a lot of items that are just exposed for selling in the stores are usually pinned with never used and sold cheaper than those in their original packaging. Is that usual in Canada as well? If you're asking if in Canada, we have a phrase called buyer beware. Buyer beware means that people who are selling things, for the most part, are very honest, but there are always a few people who are dishonest. And as someone who buys things, you need to do your research and be aware of things. Know that. Bob turns from right to left, so relaxation for the gluteal muscles. Yes. Keep moving around. Where was I? French toast. Hafiez, yep. For example, phones have software updates for a certain time, like for only 6 years, and will not be supported after that. I guess that's kind of planned obsolescence. Yes. Oh, and Brent's here. Hi, Brent. Oh man, I missed most of the lesson. Last day before spring break, I made French toast for my students. Very nice. French toast is yummy. I had French toast earlier this week because my son started baking sourdough bread. So we have lots of bread. So I'm thinking of different ways to eat it. Anyways, hi, Brent. Good to see you. I hope you have a good break. Let's see. French toast, says Hafiez. Give me some, please. Let me get back to the actual questions because there's quite a few of them. From Jan, hello teacher, what do you think about the latest model of iPhone? Is it worth that much money? I got a feeling that old ones was better. So I've never owned an iPhone. What I do know is that for making video, the cameras on the iPhone are sometimes better than other phones. It kind of goes, some years the iPhone is better, some years maybe a Samsung or Google phone is better. I do know that everyone I know that owns one, they're very reliable and they're very easy to use. An Android phone isn't always simple. Like sometimes you have to sideload an app and do strange things. So I like Apple products. They're pretty cool, but not everything I own. From Miller, excuse me, teacher, I'm sorry for asking about your personal information, but may I know your birthday, please? I don't have one. I am one of those weird humans who I'm just kidding. My birthday's in the summer. That's as much information as I've really ever given out. Some people have tried to narrow it down. One person once got really close to guessing, but I don't say what my birthday is. From Hasham, I want to send you some physical gift. How can I send? There is a link, or there is an address in the description below this video to a P.O. box. If you send me a hammock, there's no guarantee that I will hang it up. It's actually laying right over there. Until maybe this summer I will do that. So that's kind of a running joke. Mode has sent me gifts in the past. A nice bobblehead, a poster, a few other things, and then the hammock, which I have not taken advantage of. But yes, there is an address in the description to my P.O. box. From No Longer, do you play any computer games? Yes. How do you allocate RAM to make sure your computer is up to date, smooth, and running smoothly? The main thing I look at when buying a computer is how do I make it run my video editing software well? And that also coincidentally makes it good for playing games. So I like playing Age of Empires 2. I've played Age of Mythology. Those games aren't super hard, like for the hardware to run. But my primary concern is always, okay, I need lots of VRAM on the video card. I need lots of main RAM in order to be able to edit videos well. Let's see here. Mode says, do you have a docking station? Is the term newfangled only used by older people? No, you can use newfangled. You're old enough now. So, um, yes, I don't have a docking station. I don't know if you were asking me or someone else, but no, I don't. Hafia says iPhones are great just for the message app alone. Yes, I have buddies from the US which I can easily contact through message. Yes, I find that the messaging, the FaceTime, all of the communication features on the iPhone are very, very well designed. Arena, hi, Teacher Bob. Could you specify, please, the difference between a laptop and a notebook in relation to computers? Do you use both terms? Thank you. We almost always, in my part of the world, say laptop now. You need a laptop for work. You bring your laptop to school. We sometimes say MacBook if it's actually an Apple MacBook. And that kind of depends as well, but mostly laptop. We don't use notebook very often. I, at least, don't use the word notebook very often anymore. Moat says, people who were born in the summer are the coolest. And no, I'm not saying that because I was born in the summer too. There's some information there for the information gatherers. How to become a member. There is a button that says join. If you see it, it means that you can become a member in your country. If you don't see it, you can check Patreon and become a member there. You don't quite get the live stream access, but you do get the week at a glance lesson plan and the extra video. Okay. I'm going to speed up. Hey, hello, Sir Bob. Hope you're doing great. I don't have any questions today. I just wanted to greet you and thank you for your effort. Thanks a bunch, sir. You are very, very welcome. Judith, hi, Bob. Which is the newest movie that you have seen? Did you like it better than F1, the F1 movie with Brad Pitt? Thank you. Yes, I saw Project Hail Mary. I don't know if it was better. Like F1 was cool. Project Hail Mary was cool. They are both very good movies. I don't want to say they're kind of different, right? Like one is like this race car drama and the other one is a science fiction. From Hasham. Bob, sir, how much have petrol prices increased in Canada? They went to $1.80 Canadian per liter. Now they're back down to $1.60, $1.65. They might take one of the taxes off our gas to help us through this time. From Fatih, how can we keep ourselves up to date in terms of language learning? So number one, you need to, like if you're watching Friends, the TV show Friends to learn English, it might be time to watch something a little more current, a little more recent. So watch something recent. Like if you watch the recent episodes of Survivor 50, that would be up-to-date language, modern language. The next, I'm not going to put it on the screen because I don't want to confuse people. There will be no outdoor live lesson tomorrow. There might be one the first Saturday in May. From a fool but not foolish, it's almost election time where I am. What do people usually say when a brand new party wins by a landslide out of nowhere? Exactly that. You say this brand new party with never before heard of leaders won by a landslide. It came out of nowhere. That's how we would describe it. From Ario. Hi, Ario. Good to see you again. Hello, Mr. Bob. It's been a while. How are you doing? I'm doing good. My question is, what is your take on self-driving cars? Self-driving cars, definitely brilliant. Those cars made by the Chinese. So Canada has actually allowed Chinese EV imports to start. Kind of curious to see what they're like. I can't say that Chinese electric vehicles are amazing because I haven't seen one yet. I'm sure they are, but I'll need to see it with my own eyes. But Tesla has self-driving cars in Canada. You do need to supervise it though. And it's pretty cool. Like the self-driving cars are pretty cool. Muetez says, could you please do a lesson on advanced English, like using beneficial instead of good? It would be helpful for students preparing for IELTS, like me. I will. I know there are a lot of teachers on YouTube that do lessons like that. I just want to be clear that in everyday spoken English, my opinion is that sometimes some of the words being taught aren't used very often. Like we do use the word beneficial, like eating healthy is beneficial for your health, right? But more likely, I'm probably going to say good for your health. So yes, if I do one, I want to make sure I'm clear on on when exactly you would use those words. From Alex, I remember the time when we listened to vinyl records. I miss those days sometimes, but now vinyl is considered an elite hobby. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I still remember hearing the like the needle on the record before the music would start. Elena. Hi, Bob. Which word would you use for the latest scientific invention? I would just say it's cutting edge, state of the art, high tech, modern, recent, first of its kind, newly released, recently launched. A lot of the words can be used. And then new law in physics, or a fact that dinos had, I think you mean plumage, like feathers. That's a P, which was astonishing several years ago. A new law, we would probably used to use the word new a lot. It's quite common to just use the word new to describe something new. Okay. What items, this is Apple, even if in pristine condition, would you never purchase? I can certainly think of a few, but I won't say it out loud. This is just my personal opinion and what I do. I usually buy computers brand new. I don't think I've ever bought a used computer in my life. I have helped other people buy used computers, but I think once in college I bought a used computer. I want my computers to be new and work and have all the latest features. So I usually save up money and buy something brand new. Phones I usually buy new as well, but I wouldn't be against buying a used phone. Okay. From Shane, hi Bob, what's the best way to shadow effectively and get good results? I've been shadowing, but I still can't speak fluently. Thanks a million. Shadowing is great, but it's only one of many steps to improve your speaking. It sounds to me like you need to actually start practicing your conversation with another person. Shadowing can help with forming thoughts. Shadowing can help with improving pronunciation, but a real conversation is always just super, super good. 32 gigs in my desktop, 16 gigs in my laptop. How much RAM do you have in your PC? So the working memory, like not the hard drive, the working memory, 32 gigs in my desktop, 16 in my laptop. Next to how to pronounce sounds. I'm not sure what the two letters mean, but you just say the sounds. Are there any GeoGuessr lessons? I promised to do one, and then I ended up going to the hospital. So we'll see in the future. Bob, born in July, Smiley, maybe August. I don't know. It's not June, and it's not September. That's all I'll say. Windows 10 or 11. Both my computers are currently running Windows 10. I am someone who usually updates, but my computers, both models of computer I have, other people who have updated them to Windows 11 have had small, little, tiny problems. So I have avoided doing that. Hey, thanks for watching. This lesson, that's the wrong button. This lesson will come out in a shorter version in a couple days. It will have all of the questions removed, and it will be a nice 20 to 25 minute lesson about describing new things. You should watch it again if you are interested in remembering these words and phrases and improving your English. Hafia says Bob was born in August. Yes, I was born in the month of July. Not August, not July, somewhere in those 8 to 9 weeks. Thanks for watching. I am going to wrap this up. We went a little bit over time. But please do remember to watch or listen to this lesson again. It's always a good idea. No, that says, thanks for the awesome lesson, Bob. It's always such a pleasure hanging around with you. I wish you and your family a marvelous Friday and weekend. Best wishes to Jen and the kids. Thank you. I think I've talked too long, haven't I? Maybe I should stop. Okay. Thanks for watching. You're all awesome. I hope your week goes really well. I'll see you Tuesday again with a new lesson, and next Friday with another live lesson. And this has been fun. I'm feeling obviously far more energetic. I can tell myself. So I hope you enjoyed a more energetic Bob in the lesson. Bye. Have a good Friday and enjoy the day.